Yo, what's going on, everybody? You said thumbnail, you've read the title, and today I want to talk about how my frustrations with Call of Duty Vanguard are starting to build. Because now that I've sunk about a day and a bit of playtime, and it's been a couple of months after release of Call of Duty Vanguard, yeah, there's some frustrations that I'm definitely noticing, and even though I do personally like Vanguard, if changes don't start happening soon for Vanguard, this could be a game that I will turn from liking to slowly starting to resent because Sledgehammer isn't fixing some key issues and, key frustrations at least I have, and I'm sure some of you guys might have as well. And, feel free to vent in the comment sections your frustrations with Vanguard down below. I'd love to hear them, and who knows, maybe I'll make a video on your guys' frustrations with Call of Duty Vanguard as well. So with that being said, let's get into the video, guys. Alright, so I want to start with my biggest frustration, which is limb multipliers and headshot multipliers. Now, both of these individually are stupid, but when you combine them together, they can create a huge frustration. So we'll start with limb multipliers, because I think it's the more dumb of the two. I guess they're both equally stupid, but limb multipliers. Limb multipliers can make your gunfights just so stupidly inconsistent, because sometimes if you're just a couple millimeters off to the right of shooting an enemy in the chest, which is typically where you aim at an enemy when you go to shoot them, is the chest of their stomach area, you hit their arm and you do less damage, which makes your gun in turn not kill as quick as it normally does, which is stupid. Why does that need to be a thing? I don't know. Sledgehammer thought, hey, let's punish people for shooting someone in the arm when you can't actively avoid it. Now, it's different when you're shooting somebody in the leg, because if you're aiming at your opponent's leg, that's kind of your fault. You shouldn't be aiming at the legs. I think, yeah, you should be punished with less damage for shooting somebody in the leg. But considering the arms are right there, up in that stomach to chest area, why am I getting punished for accidentally hitting the enemy's arm? It's stupid. And then when you combine headshot multipliers on top of this, you end up with this situation where you either kill insanely quick, because the headshot multipliers are really strong in this game, so you either kill people insanely quick, slower than usual, or the normal time as usual. And it also creates this inconsistency where you feel like, on one hand, you can take a decent amount of bullets, and then the very next gunfight, you feel like you can't take any bullets at all because the enemy hit you in the head. And it just creates this weird inconsistency that doesn't need to be there. And speaking of inconsistencies, let's talk about weak weapons in the game, right? Let's look at the Type 100, the Sten, and the Thompson. A lot of them are, all three of those are SMGs, just don't feel that viable. Even when you get them to level 70, then you can kind of make them a little bit competitive in the meta, but they don't compare to their counterparts of the MP40 and the well gun. There's just simply better options. The well gun is just simply a better option than the Sten. The MP40 is a better option than the Sten. It's just simply a better gun. And I'm not saying that we should nerf the, strong weapons. No, because I think, again, having ridiculously overpowered shit is actually what's making Vanguard kind of fun for me. But instead, buff up the weak weapons, buff things like the Sten, buff things like the Thompson, buff things like the Type 100 that just don't really compete that well in the meta, so that they can compete with the more overpowered, stronger weapons in the game. This way you keep the overpowered, strong, fun stuff for people, but you also don't feel like you're locked in to using those overpowered setups. You feel like, oh, I could venture out and I could use the Thompson, I could venture out and use the Sten, and I'm not completely and utterly screwed. That's kind of just something that's annoying, and I'm sure, Sledgehammer will fix it eventually. Hopefully they go the route of buffing the weak weapons instead of just nerfing the overpowered ones, but, buffing weak weapons takes a lot longer than nerfing overpowered ones, but hopefully they do that. Hopefully they fix that there. And my last complaint, I guess we'll make this 3 complaints, this video isn't super long, is skill-based matchmaking. You probably saw this one coming. I just don't like it. I just don't like playing against people who are all like level 500 every single game. It's not that fun. It makes me feel like I'm locked into using, the really strong broken shit. It feels like I'm not allowed to venture out, which can make the game feel very tiring when you're kind of locked into using the same thing over and over again. It's what made Cold War kind of boring, and it's the same thing here. Like, feeling locked into using those overpowered setups like the 2-shot bar, because you have to deal with people who are like level 900 in every single lobby, is not that fun. After so long, it starts to become boring to use the same weapon over and over and over again. It's fun to use it every once in a while, but it's not fun to use it every single game, if you get what I'm saying there. So anyways, to conclude this video, so I don't just start talking about very minor issues I have with the game, in conclusion, if we could get rid of those annoying limb multipliers and nerf down the headshot multipliers, and in turn also buff up the weak weapons, because let's be realistic, skill-based matchmaking probably isn't going anywhere, despite the fact that it literally kills every single game it touches, which I could make an entire video on that. But other than that, I think the game would be a lot better and a lot more enjoyable, and, you know, probably won't be something I'll end up resenting after so long, or I will end up having to take long breaks from, because it will just get tiring and boring. So with that being said, if you guys did happen to enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like, sub to the channel, turn on post notifications, and yeah, leave your own frustrations down below. And with that being said, have a great rest of the day, everybody. Bye bye. Peace out.